Hi, my name is Wheeler Winston Dixon, James Ryan Professor of Film Studies at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, and this is Frame by Frame, and today I'd like to speak about Busby Berkeley, the great American musical director. American musicals in the classical era were really two camps. Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers at RKO Radio making films in which the body was the full frame, and basically it was the dance centered on two dancers, a very intimate spectacle. And over at Warner Brothers, Busby Berkeley making these huge pyrotechnic spectacles with hundreds of dancers and neon lights and rippling pianos and huge special effects, which more or less defined Depression-era filmmaking. Some of his best films include Gold Diggers of 1933, Footlight Parade, Dames in 1934, and Busby Berkeley always went for the effect. His most famous signature shot, of course, is the Berkeley top shot, so named because he would put the camera in the rafters overhead and have the dancers perform a geometric pattern on the stage, which would be something, of course, that the audience in a real theater could not see. Busby Berkeley was the first director who liberated the musical from the stage format. He basically took the camera onto the stage. He would go outside of the stage to outside setups that could not possibly fit onto a stage. He would do overhead shots. He would do dolly-in shots. He would run the camera in reverse into reverse motion shots. When color came along, he embraced that with an absolute passion in films like The Gang's All Here for 20th Century Fox. He would do kaleidoscopic effects where he would actually put a kaleidoscope in front of the camera and just basically the dancers would become complete abstracts. Busby Berkeley's films are really about the human body in motion. They're not so much about personality or individuality. They're basically about the spectacle of the dance and the way that you can capture it on film and the cinematic possibilities of the body in movement. Busby Berkeley's career was an extremely long one. One of his last projects was the Broadway revival of No, No, Nanette. He worked almost up to the day that he died, but he was very impersonal about his work. Once in an interview towards the end of his career, someone asked him if there was one particular performer he enjoyed working with, and his response was, "No, a girl is a girl is a girl," which more or less displays why Busby Berkeley's films, while brilliant, are kind of technically cold and distant, as opposed to the warmth and the sincerity that one sees in the films of Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire for RKO. But nevertheless, Busby Berkeley's films are impressive spectacles, and he is one of the greatest film directors who ever worked in the medium of the movie musical. I'm Wheeler Winston Dixon, and this is Frame by Frame.